let me finish with this, and then we're gonna move forward.
Why not?
That's not right.
How do you come to my country and tell me what I should be doing?
You feel this is your country?
It is 100%.
Why do you feel
Is this your country?
You know how I feel it's our country?
Is it your country?
You know why I feel that way?
That it is your country?
Yeah. I mean, black people's.
It's America your country?
Yes, it is.
And you're black, right?
And we built it.
And why do you feel that?
Because we built it.
You didn't build it?
Yeah. Black people built
No, they didn't.
Who, Donald Trump did?
White people did. Black people don't build, they destroy.
No, they don't.
Tell me one
we
thing
destroy
that
our own
black
stuff,
people built.
but we've constructed everybody
But you
else's
got
stuff.
paid to do that.
Okay, your thoughts.
Okay, so I'm gonna be a little controversial. Okay, so when you're talking about the Americas, I believe that the Americas are the Holy Land, or the lands that's talked about in the Bible. I believe is not over there in Africa, the Middle East. I believe that all of that is right here in the Americas. I believe that there's a lot of history that has been hidden. I believe that the only people that should be claiming the Americas are the ones that come from the original women of these lands.
Man, you know what? I'm loving you. But let me say this. That is in legal documentation, by the way, that I like to show. It's called the Iroquois Confederacy that specifically states that this land to this day is in the name of the women of the land. The women.
I know. I read it. I'm aware of all of. I've been doing research for probably 25 years,
That's
and then
clear.
I was raised in a Comitian or Egyptian community in New York. So went to private school. I learned a lot about Black history. I learned Black history before I learned about anything else.
Okay. So, and we're going to call it melanated folks history because of the simple fact that they was not.
I just said that for,
Yeah.
I use the word melanated though.
So one of the things about this whole thing is, and thank you, the Iroquois Confederacy is one of the first documentation where the original people of the land, and I don't want to go searching for it right now, but we have shown in other sessions where we show what the actual original people look like. They were melanated. They was my color. Yeah. And then when you start talking about the Spaniards that were coming in, we showed this clearly. They was my color. They was dark skinned too. The Spaniards that we think they was Albion, but no, they was my color. Then we look at the people who were, because here's what happened. We had the British that came in. They were amalgamated. Now they had started sleeping with the Albions, but they were still melanated too. But they came over and they just made contracts with the original people of the land. Then you got your Spaniards came over. They are the ones who started marrying the people of the land. All right. Then you got your Moors, Morocco, Tunis, Algiers, Tripoli. They the ones, they just bogarted. They just bogarted their way in. And said, hey, we're going to set that. The Moors are the ones who set up what you know of as counties. That's still a separate government. You got counties, states, and you got federal. And then cities are part of the state. But a lot of people don't understand that those are separate, different governments. All right. And they are still separate to this day, except for somebody has infiltrated. I'm not going into that because that's when I teach law. But I'm trying to make this clear. That it was Moors that came in here. They set up these counties. They was melanated too, from Africa.
The whole, from what I understand and what I know to be true, the whole world was melanated first.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
Whatever happened, that lighter skin, which I know what happened, but the whole world was melanated first. So all of these different, now this is also why I say when I'm talking about all the women wasn't raising their children the same. All of the women from around the world that were melanated wasn't all the same.
Right.
But the women from these lands, the Americas, were, in my opinion, they were high level, righteous, very righteous women, and they raised their male children to be just like that, righteous.
Okay.
Because when I look at people that are aboriginal from here or foundational Black Americans, however you want to name it, we have a different spirit than everyone else in the world, and I do believe that this land has been invaded by all the other nations.
Okay, and I agree. So let me say this. Yes, originally, maybe that's the case that women were the original women of this land were. That's where Mason comes from. That's where that whole thing, Mason dealing with the women starting to teach her son. But here's the thing. Let's be clear. There are no victims. Not even the original women of this planet. Just like you said, like when we talk about we talked about Wonder Woman and Khalifa tribe and how there was the, they originally had an all-woman tribe here. Well, they was fighting too some kind of way. But one of the things that I had found is that women were selling their sons to other nations of the Americas. That they were selling their sons. Like, okay, Khalifa was one of those people who, when men would come into the land, she used to feed them to these birds. You know those birds from Avatar?
Oh wow! I just was looking at something on that. I know what they're talking about. So they're big birds.
In one of the books about Khalifa, they had pet birds like that. And like when men would come in to the area, she'd feed them to the birds. She'd feed them to her pets. And so,
I heard about that.
So what I'm saying is, there are no victims. So everybody did some dirt. If they getting an energy coming back on them, let me rephrase that. If they're getting an energy, it is an energy that is being returned to them because of the energy that they put out. Same thing with women, why they had to go into servitude because they had other beings, which was the men, in servitude. So if you put out an energy, I don't know no victims. I don't. Not even the battered woman. She's not a victim. So I don't even want to go into it. Oh, baby, what about the baby? We ain't going into that today. I've spoken about it in the past.